So there's a lot of stress and anxiety that comes from living in California, such as the violation of free speech when it comes to someone that says that they're trans. And the laws here are very interesting, as if someone claims to be trans, instead of you calling them by their actual gender, and instead of laws saying that you have to call them by their gender, you actually legally need to adhere to to California's very stringent religious laws to force the beliefs that they say you have to believe, obey, and even push, and call that person by a gender that they say they are rather than what they are. And though I understand it and I do it against my morals, I know calling a man that is born a man and everything, calling him a woman, I understand how terrible that is and how unethical it is. And when it comes to religious beliefs and psychology, how damaging it is to them as well, and how important it is to correct them. I understand it, but I will still call him a she. And if a woman wants to be called a he, I do call her a he, despite the moral implications, the ethical issues, and the psychological damage it does to them. It's a fallacy of mine. It's a problem, I know. I know it's unethical, I know religiously it's bad, and I understand how damaging it is psychologically, but I'm an empath, so I don't want to offend people. And I know that that's really bad and, again, damaging. But despite that, there are people who are being forced by law in California to do what I do, as far as to claim that he is a she or she is a he. And the thing is, when it comes to laws like this, when you put your religious beliefs on others and you say, deal with this harmful, unethical, evil thing that causes severe emotional damage and psychological issues, because we say you have to have this very religious, spiritual belief, and doing anything outside of that that is not harmful is now illegal, that's a problem. Because now it's becoming very, I'm not allowed to say the word. There's a lot of words I'm not allowed to say on TikTok, because they want to make sure that everything is very, they don't need to know how bad things are, And it's a problem. It's a real problem. And I just can't support California's laws, even though I naturally abide by them anyway. Just because I do it doesn't mean that I support in a law forcing other people to have a certain very extreme, very radical, very harmful religious belief, and maybe even claim it's not religious. I've spoken to very far left, very liberal psychologists, and it was interesting because the three of them I spoke with, none of them know each other. All of them said the biggest problem in the world today is young children believing they're a different gender than what they are, and the extremely emotional, severe depression and anxiety it leads that leads to them unaliving themselves, because they believe that since they're told by someone else that they think they're a different gender, they really believe they're a different gender. There's one gentleman who came to California, and his daughter became self-unaliveable-ish, whatever, and it became so severe of her saying she was a boy. And later on, they said that she was told it by a teacher. And to this day, every psychologist I've spoken to says that a child doesn't believe it. They're told that they think they're a different gender. And when he moved away from California, the daughter's unaliving tendencies and everything, and IQ issues and failed grades in school disappeared in 2 months. And now she's, but you know what I'm saying. But my point is, just because us Southern Californians have a certain belief on what we view as respect to people, doesn't mean that we have to create laws to violate other people's very simple rights and say, hey, You need to not believe this, but push this and say this and live your life in this way that we dictate you do. All morality gone, all scientific data gone, all religion. You believe this and you push this because we demand you to. It's a very serious problem here in Southern California. And to be honest with you, the people I've seen that push it have never been people that, I'll say what happened to Charlie Kirk. They've always been people to praise that and laugh at it and say we need more of that. They always have been that radical. And what we need is less of this unaliving hatefulness being pushed on those who are not far left enough to disappear and get back to being Americans again and believe in basic morality as far as let's not harm or unalive people. And if they're not harming us or doing anything to us, then there's no reason to do something to them.